Hi, how are y'all today? Okay, so we're going to be talking about the phrase seek and you shall find, or seek and ye shall find is how they used to put it in the olden days. But seek and you will find. Like this goes for many things. So many people ask, well, how do you know this? Or how do you find this? Or how do you get the answer to this? I look for it, I seek it out every day. And I think if many of us start seeking things and seeking knowledge and seeking answers and seeking a deeper insight, whether it be just reading about it or researching it or asking questions or putting yourself in an environment where you can seek certain things, you will find it. Okay, so seek and you will find it. And the reason this video is a good topic is because so many people aren't seeking. They're not seeking, they are expecting um, it to fall in their lap. And it just doesn't happen like that because it takes effort and it takes also a frequency of actually seeking out something in order to uh, really match the same frequency. Okay, so you can't bring something to you or manifest something to you if you're not vibrating on a similar frequency. You just can't do it. So that's why many people have issues manifesting or getting what they want um, by not vibrating in the same or similar frequency. So, that's one of the main things that we need to focus on is that we need to seek. It doesn't even matter how you seek it as long as you're in the act of seeking. It could be Googling, that simple. It could be singing a song um, with lyrics about whatever. Okay. It could be anything. It could be whatever you want, but you need to be seeking it in a way where you are actively pursuing the idea. Okay. Hmm. Um. Thank you. Yeah. The Idiot's Guide to Alchemy. Yeah, very good. Thank you, Deanna Joel. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Do numbers and colors have frequency? Yes, they do. Of course, they do. So, mhm, the color spectrum, definitely. Um, so seek things and you will find. Seek the answers. Seek knowledge. Seek spiritual meaning in things, and seek deeper meaning in things if you are trying to learn how to decode. So always look for the deeper meaning, and you will find it. A lot of people say, "Well, I'm trying to learn how to decode, but it's just hard." Well, first you have to seek it. You have to look for deeper meanings in things, and then you'll start to see. And then once you start to do that, it's going to come faster and more abundant, right? And soon it'll just be the frequency that you live on. Okay. Um. Right. So if you're seeking something daily and you start to get what you're seeking and you continue seeking it daily, you're going to start living on that frequency. Okay. And that's what makes the difference between someone who has the type of life where they don't really struggle or look for things or have issues versus the lives where people struggle and are always, coming up short and having, negative things happen. Da, da, da. There are different frequencies that you're living on because one is not seeking and one is. So that's why you always see the alchemist on a path or on a journey or on a quest of knowledge. Because if you're always on a path, if you're always thinking, if you're always starting something, like Michael Jackson said, you gotta be starting something, you got to be starting something, because it determines what frequency you're gonna be on. Okay. If you're not doing anything, if you're not seeking anything, you're not going to be on the frequency of the thing that, or the things, or the type of life that you desire. You're just not going to be on the frequency. Okay. You're going to be on something lower that's never getting what they desire. So when you're on a frequency, when you're on a higher frequency, you're continuously seeking. Okay. That's why I'm always reading. That's why I'm always doing research. That's why I'm always decoding. That's why I'm always doing this and seeing deeper meaning in things, because I'm always on that frequency, which is why it continues to be the frequency that I live on. And I feel that if we all got on a frequency of seeking, whatever it is, it didn't have to be whatever spiritual. It just has to be something that you are seeking. Right? Um, you will be closer to it each day. Okay. So today is your birthday. Happy birthday, Your Royal Highness. 1111, girl. Hey, sprinkle, sprinkle. Right. You were just told to allow answers to come. Okay. But that's not going to really work. I mean, everything we have is within us. Yes, that is true. But in order to understand everything within you, you also need to know how to decode it, because your your mind speaks to you in your subconscious. Thank you, Misty. Your advice has improved my life more than anything else. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Misty. Sprinkle, sprinkle. I appreciate that. So, thank you, girl. So, if you have a dream and it's weird and you can't interpret it, are you just going to wait for the dream to interpret itself, or are you going to go get some outside knowledge to help you interpret it? So the answers will come, but are you seeking the answers? You know, um, I don't wait. I get up and go do something, because when the answers come, I need to be prepared. I need to know what they mean. I need to know what to do. Hmm. You just decoded your dream. Good for you. Thank you. So, yeah, you can wait for the answer, but you also need to be seeking other things at the same time, you know, and your answer will come maybe through the seeking. You may be seeking something totally different, but your answer will come, and something that you least expected to come in. Mm. What is the point of the soul reincarnating into the third dimension if it's already all knowing? Okay, sometimes you're leveling up to the third dimension. You know what I mean? In a different form. So you in your last life, you could have been in a different form, still human, but in a different body. And so leveling up in a certain type of body could actually be your next step to not having to reincarnate, so that you would ascend fully. Okay. Um, Thank you, Sprinkle Sprinkle. I wish I could remember my dreams. Oh, you just gotta tell yourself to remember your dreams before you go to sleep. You gotta program that mind, that subconscious mind. Leveling up to an entirely different body. Yeah. Being reborn through a totally different body. That's what I meant. Hmm. How do I feel about ritual bathing? I believe everything has a frequency, and I believe everything has a frequency. So if your ritual bathing is going to cause your frequency to change and to rise and to align with what you're trying to do and what you're seeking, then more power to you. You um, Anything that's helping you is good. Anything that's helping you seek and keep your mind and your ideas on what you are seeking is good. Okay. Anything that keeps you on a frequency is good. If it's a good frequency that you're trying to get to. Halima, thank you. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Appreciate that. So Um, Seeking answers, seeking partners, seeking wealth, seeking knowledge is all a frequency. You're trying to find the frequency of that. It's like a radio station you're turning. The old school radio, you're trying to find the frequency. And so you keep seeking the channel, you know. Thank you, Treasure. Sprinkle, sprinkle. What your thoughts on palmistry? Um, there are deeper meanings in everything. The universe is a pattern. Everything is a pattern. If you can find meaning in deeper patterns and lesser patterns, then great. You know what I'm saying? There's knowledge everywhere. You can find it anywhere. Just keep seeking it. Nothing you learn is going to be bad for you, you know? Nothing you learn is going to be bad for you. It will all contribute to you, right? You're always dreaming that you're getting married, but I'm single and not dating anyone. I'm just getting the bag. I don't know what it means. um, Maybe your subconscious mind is telling you that you want to get married. You know, for me, if I keep dreaming about being married and I'm not worried about marriage, perhaps that is a subconscious message to you that perhaps you need to hurry up and get married because you can't secure the bag forever. What if something happens to you? You know what I mean? Better get that. You know what I mean? Can't do that forever. So it could be a warning to hurry up. So just in case. That's what I that's what I would feel. Always, right. Okay, so Star Talk just posted a video on higher dimensions. Wow, I was just talking about that in my other video. Yeah. I was saying that there are different levels of heaven. Like someone asked me if I believed in heaven or hell. I think it was Queen Butterfly. I don't know if she's over here. But there are different levels of hell and what we call heaven. Heaven is anything outside of the earth, not the sky, but the earth. Anything outside of the earth is the heavens. Um, so to say, so to speak. Now, heaven and hell aren't even opposites unless you consider, you know what I mean. Heavens are the cosmos. So what does hell mean? If the opposite of heaven is hell and the cosmos are the heavens, then what is hell? Think about it. So I had dream about aliens. Girl, yeah, I'm dreaming about some crazy stuff. Earth, right? Earth is already hell. Anything that's not in the heavens, anything you cannot escape from is hell. Okay. So think about it. Do you believe in heaven or hell? If you act good, if you act, it has nothing to do with that. Can you escape? Can you escape hell? That's what you need to think about. Um, if you read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, he escaped. So can you leave? Is the question. There is no, oh, I'm going to do good and right and be truthful and, be a good person and, obey every law and then I'll get to leave. Nope. Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. But that's not what it depends on. It has nothing to do with that. Okay. So that's why, we've been brainwashed and we have to realize, if you seek knowledge and seek these answers, you would figure this out instead of just being told something and being okay with it. You got to seek knowledge, you got to seek answers. Okay. Um, mhm. Power, knowledge, understanding. Exactly. So if someone commits suicide, are they escaping? No. Well, it depends. It all depends. It all depends on what type of body that they are in. There you go. Um, can you talk about the ninth dimension and police? I can talk about the ninth dimension. The ninth dimension beings are beings that have a task and they have a role and they must do their role. They're like a Thanos character. They don't really care about your feelings, they don't care about the small, mundane things. There is an agenda that has to be done, and it doesn't matter. There's no good or evil there. It just needs to get done. That basically that's what the ninth dimension is. It's like pure, this is what needs to get done. It doesn't matter who has to suffer. This is what just has to get done. It doesn't matter. Thank you, Shannon. What advice would you give your younger self? Um, my advice that I would give my younger self is to keep going, keep learning, and don't ever be so full of knowledge that you can't learn anymore. And I mean, that's what I live by every day. But I would have told my younger self that because there comes a point where you start to learn a little bit and you think you know everything, especially when you're young. You know how young people think that they know everything? I would have wanted to know that that was not true so that I could have gotten more information and allowed more things to open my mind when they were presented to me instead of wasting my time. That's what I would have want to know. How do you feel about having partner that's not on the same frequency as you? It don't matter. To me, I don't think it matters because you came here alone, you're probably gonna leave alone. You know what I'm saying? It's a personal journey, not a couple's journey, but a personal journey. So let them believe whatever they want to believe. It's not going to impede you as long as you stay on your path. Um, okay. What is the underworld? The underworld is where uh, energies go um, when they are not able to leave the earth. Have you ever watched that cartoon Hercules? You remember where Hades was in the little underground river thing? That would be considered the underworld. You know, a gulf of spirits that were going to stay in there until sticks, right? Until yeah, they want to be recycled or they're reincarnated back on the earth. So their earth would then be heaven, and the underworld would then be their hell. And to cosmic beings, their heavens would be the heavens, the cosmos, and then earth would be their hell. So there's different levels of hell and heaven to different people. Um, but like Hercules, he could escape hell, you see, and get into the heavens. And Hercules is a metaphor for someone who is a cosmic or God being that came down to earth that went into the underworld, but was able to leave back out and go back into the cosmos, just like a Thoth character. So it depends on who you are. Thank you, Halima. Please need major help for beginners. Yes. Start off by learning universal law. Yes. Learn alchemy. Like there's a book called Complete Idiot's Guide to Alchemy, Universal Law. Study ancient Egypt and ancient Sumeria. This is like a long journey, a never ending journey, basically. But you can start there. Read the Kabbalion, all that. Okay. So, yeah, a lot of those books are free on YouTube as audiobooks. So you're good. Just Google free audiobooks or go on YouTube. Um, right. So whether you're in this level or this level, it all depends on, you know, who you are at the moment. Uh, mhm. Your brother committed suicide? I'm sorry to hear that. Like, I think if we understand and know our purpose and know knowledge and seek knowledge spiritually, mentally, that it would also help us not to think on those levels of committing suicide because we know why we're here. You know, it's just an amount of knowledge that you can have to deter you from making such decisions. You know what I mean? There is no way in the world I would commit suicide knowing what I know. It's just that knowledge is not abundant or not a lot of people seek certain type of knowledge. And so they don't understand certain things and they feel a certain way. They don't understand these feelings. They don't see an escape. They don't see this. They don't see that. So they don't know how to move forward because they don't have enough information. That's all. You know? So if you had enough information, it would alleviate a lot of those issues. But sadly, we live in a society that doesn't just give it out. You have to go and seek it. That's why it's important to seek. Um, is there a spiritual significance as to why Black people don't know who we are? Yes, there is. Um, I think you know what? I think it's because not knowing who you are, it's kind of like being born rich. You don't know what it's like to be poor. You know what I'm saying? You born rich, you don't know what it's like to be broke. That's the same thing. You don't know what it's like. You don't know the power of money. You don't know um, any of that. You just know, oh, I was just born. This is normal to me. So you don't understand your power. And the reason why you don't understand your power is because you were born that way. If you weren't born that way, which is what I'm going to get into, if you were born in a different body, you know, and you died and you did not go into the heavens and you saw other energies going into the heavens, but you couldn't, then you would understand the power. And when you decided to reincarnate, if you could, you would get into a different type of body because you see their power. No matter what, okay, they may live in a bad life, they may, get treated this way, but they get to leave in the end. So if you are already born that way, if you've been that way for a long time, then of course you don't understand your power until the end or until you wake up and seek the knowledge of your power. Most people don't seek anything, but if you do, then you'll find it. Right. You are a lifesaver. Thank you for your generosity with your name and knowledge. You are praised and appreciated. Thank you, Sprinkle Sprinkle, Sonia. You said, so are Black people cursed? No. Why would they be cursed? The only curse is ignorance of self, basically. The only curse is ignorance of self. So when you are able to find out and seek knowledge, then there you go. You know? Only thing that's cursed is ignorance of thyself, knowing not thyself. Um, Lack of knowledge is the curse. You get knowledge, there's no curse. That's why I would say seek. You'll find something, and I don't see why. I think people label things curses because they don't understand the reason for it because they didn't ask the right questions. They didn't seek the answers. They just took what was given to them. They just took the fact, oh, I'm cursed. They just took it, threw a curse in there. Oh, thank you. I'll take this. That's they're focusing on it. You're going like this, you're begging for, you're seeking, you're seeking, you're seeking. Someone throws a curse in there. Throw it out, baby. Keep looking. Okay. So most people just accept what they're given. They don't even consider looking for other options. That's why I told you guys my advice to my younger self was to stop thinking I know everything or that I had all the answers or that anybody had all the answers and keep looking until I found what I wanted, until I found the frequency I wanted to be on. So, yeah, don't just take what people give you. If you're not satisfied with that answer, throw it out and wait for the next. Seek the next. Right. Mhm. Curses can't work on high vibrational beings. That's right. Only people that don't seek. Okay. The soul has no race or religion, but it does have a frequency. Ella. A soul does have a frequency, and according to the type of body that it is in, depends on the soul's frequency. Very true. You gotta seek. Hmm. Is it is it possible for parents to pass on ignorance? Yeah, when they raise them and teach them the wrong things and teach them not to learn or teach them not to question, of course they can pass it on. But it can also be you can also reprogram someone or yourself by doing the opposite. Hmm. So some people who outwardly appear right actually have the black dot. What? Right. Being cursed, whether you believe it or not, can happen, and one throwing you at you has strong magic. Necromancy. Not really. Not if you're a cosmic being. Diamond. If you're a cosmic being, there's unless if you're a cosmic being, unless you accept that and don't understand your true power, of course it can affect you. Thank you, Keisha. Why do dark Middle Easterners have straight hair like and not kinky hair like black? Because they're mixed. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Mhm. Like Ethiopians. Like um, they're all mixed with African, Arab, and Caucasian from the Caucasus Mountains. Right. You Ethiopian? Hey. A real witch will hex you at the cost of taking herself out. That's real. Ain't nobody gonna hex nothing. You know, there's a part where it says you can't really hex anybody or curse anybody who doesn't who vibrates too high for you. You know what I'm saying? If you are on the level of cursing, you can't curse someone who's above the level of being cursed. That's just how it is. You can't curse someone unless you understand that curses can affect them. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you can try, but usually it will end up working in their favor. They because if they're a true master of self, they will turn a curse into a blessing. That's the name of my book. If you want to get it, it's an ebook below. You can get it on Amazon.com. Anybody who you throw a curse at, if they are a master of self, emotion, and know alchemy and know how to transmute anything, your curse will become their blessing always. You cannot curse a higher level being. It will not work out for you. It will just make them shine brighter. Can't do because we know how to turn it around. And the only type of people that you can curse is people that don't know transmutation. Okay. Um, how do you know that all that you what? How do you know all that you know when what ignited your thirst for knowledge? I was born that way, actually. I was born seeking knowledge. I was always into the unknown and things like that. It was just something that drove me from birth. I think the mundane is just too easy. You know, there's more to life than what was given. And so you have to seek if you have that feeling inside. And many of y'all who are on this channel are already thinking that same thing. There's more. I got to keep going. Got to figure it out. Um, right. How do I feel about tarot cards? I think they're good for self-reflection and not making not asking stupid questions. I think they're good for self-reflection and um, you know, things like that. Not for asking, when am I going to meet my husband? I don't think that they're for that. um, why? Right. So, seeking things will keep you on that frequency of finding them. That's it. Eat, Ichigo, happy birthday. Sprinkle, sprinkle. All right. That's how you found my channel. Yay! Thank you. Mental manipulation. Yeah, it does keep people enslaved. hmm So, as long as you understand how to see things, you can never be mentally enslaved. As long as you know how to turn curses into blessings, you can never be cursed. As long as you keep seeking more and more, you will never settle for less. You will always be on a higher frequency because you're going to keep seeking the next thing and the next thing. You will never get stuck because you're always going to be looking. And that's why a lot of people feel that they can't do anything because they're stuck because they stop looking, they've stopped creating, they've stopped seeking. And so they feel stuck. You got to keep going. Right. You got hit by a bus and turned into a blessing. Good for you. Get that money. Okay. I have not seen Harriet. I probably won't see Harriet. Um, right. Thank you. Right. How do you turn a curse into a blessing? Transmutation. I have a whole book on it. It's an ebook. You can download it. It's in the description bar on Amazon. hmm Here it is, the slave movie. Yeah, I don't watch any slave movies. Like, right. I can't wait for this year to be over. Right. Um, there is no need for a historically inaccurate slave movie. Right. How do I feel about the topic of gods and deities are only powerful because we the people give them the power? I think gods and deities represent aspects of self and the powers that we have within. And it was only human nature and the trick of other people who have figured it out first to get people to look without versus looking within. So if you put the answers as well in other deities without, you will also find them within yourself as well. So uh, it was a trick set up to make sure that what works against you actually works for you in the long run. So once you figure out that those deities are just the same as you are within, it's just aspects of self that you need to pull out, parts of yourself that you need to focus on more, what these deities represent. Your powers that you possess, just the same as these deities, you just have to bring it out, figure out how to use them. So that's all that means. hmm Right. I think slave movies are triggers exactly for feeding the archons. So I don't watch slave movies. I don't watch that. Low frequency magnets, exactly. Because you're a vegetable. They feed off of you. You're a vegetable. Gotta be starting something. So, yeah, I don't care about slave movies. I don't care about who did what. You know what I care about? Seeking more and doing more and getting on a higher frequency. Okay. So that's what I care about. How do I avoid taking on negative energies of the people around me? Get away from them, ignore them, think on a higher frequency. You can have a bunch of negative people around me and I will just feel superior to them because I'm on a higher frequency. They're gonna be looking for me to help them. That's what they're gonna do. So you gotta lead in that mentality. Like they're gonna figure it out. They must know something we don't. Look at them. They're not participating. What do they know that we don't? Why aren't they participating? So act act as though your frequency is too high to be bothered, and don't bother with them. We have people who are so thirsty for knowledge, but are not drinking water to quench their thirst. They are being given vinegar. Lies. Exactly. That's why you got to seek the truth yourself. You can't seek it through somebody else that has something that to gain. You know, you got to seek it for yourself. You're not going to give yourself vinegar. So I always tell y'all, go learn for yourselves. Go seek it yourselves. Don't believe everything I say. Go research it. Because when you find it, it's more satisfying. Uh-huh. How do you bring your self-esteem higher? Knowing who you are and what you are. Seeking knowledge of self. Yes. That's how you bring it up. Check out the movie Fallen on Netflix. Yeah. Is that the old movie with Denzel Washington? Right. Hold on, y'all. Hello? Yeah, I'm gonna bring it because I gotta go get in line to get Sasha. Okay, bye. Okay. Do you treat yourself better than you do anyone else? Oh, you should treat yourself better. Yeah, treat yourself good. Um, trying to read some of these. It doesn't matter who was who. Who are you today, and who will you be tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? Remember the past. Prepare for the future and the present because that's what you can control. Okay. If you do something today, it's going to affect the future. So whatever you're doing today is going to determine where you're going to be tomorrow. So instead of focusing on yesterday, focus on today and tomorrow. Okay. Look, where do you want to be tomorrow? Then get on that frequency. Get on that journey to seek. Okay. If you're on the frequency of slavery, if you keep watching slave movies, um, and talking about slavery, it's good to remember, but it's bad to focus and frequency wise on it. You don't see people continuously focusing on things unless they're just referring to it historically. You don't see any other thing in history being focused on that level as intensely as slavery because they only use things or events that happen bad in history as a reference. They don't focus on it every year. Every year they don't focus on it. Okay. They only focus on it when they need to reference it to give you a point in time. So when people keep focusing on something, all they're doing is creating that frequency all over again, whether it be mentally, physically, or spiritually. So I don't choose to focus on a frequency of slavery. I know that it exists. I see the historical, information about it. I learn things so that history does not repeat. But I'm not going to sit there on that frequency. Okay. And when you get out of that frequency, then you'll see a lot of things change. So many people are still on that frequency and they won't come off of it. And that's exactly why the movies are going to keep being remade over and over because they need what I call Taco Bell workers and they need people to do the lower jobs. So they keep them on that lower frequency. And when you can get out of that and you can get out of those emotions and that frequency and rise to a higher emotion and a higher frequency and on to bigger and better things and creating your own life instead of what somebody else chose for you, then you're going to see some true change. You're going to get out of that and you're going to move into what you are creating. And when you move into what you're creating, that's when you get to that higher frequency and start creating your own world instead of the world that was created for you before or your ancestors. Get out of that frequency and get on a frequency where you're starting to create your own world. You see all these celebrities creating their own world. You see, Tyler Perry, Oprah, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Kanye. They're creating their own thing now. And they're doing it in big ways. But you still have people down here watching slave movies. So we got to get out of that. We got to move forward and move to the future and get what we want. That's it. Thank you, third species. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Oh, I see hurricanes and aliens. Hey. Frequency and vibrations is the same, right? Is there a difference? Um, a frequency and a vibration. A frequency would be light, a vibration would be sound. They go together though, but they're all energy, right? So, transmuting is taking anything negative and creating a positive thing where you benefit out of it. Okay? The most simple way I can explain transmutation is what Kim Kardashian did. She took the release of that sex tape and made money off of it. Okay, it's taking what someone throws against you and then it making money off of it. Okay. Mhm. That is transmutation. Mm. Another form of transmutation is taking the East has chip implants already. Okay. So anything that's thrown against you, you flip it and use it for your own fuel or ammunition. Um, like the Black Panther suit. The Black Panther suit. Hmm. That's dumb. I mean, would you want your daughter to get famous over a porn flick? I would rather her be famous over it than be shamed by it and her career totally be smashed to smithereens. You know, um, you got to choose the lesser of the two evils. So the thing is, you don't let people threaten you or bully you. You take it and you make it work for you. Okay. No matter what, she was still going to be exposed. You might as well get exposed and make money off of it. Okay. Um, what helped me become disciplined? I understand that the decisions I make today equals the life I have tomorrow. And the life that I want tomorrow, I can create by making logical and smart decisions today. That's it. I mean, it's pretty simple if you think about it. Archangel Michael, yay. Hey, Sheila, going back on what you said, creating your own world, does that apply for behavior, certain activities you participate in? Yeah. What you do today will show up tomorrow. You know, what do you want tomorrow? Then prepare for it today. Um, Law of correspondence is what it's called in universal law. Law of correspondence. Mhm. Let the weak say they are strong. The weak are not really weak. Tricksters, right? We don't judge from good or bad anymore. Right, right, right. Sure. Why are people more depressed these days? Because of the sun, and their frequencies are low. That's why. My life. Thank you, Sprinkle Sprinkle. If you don't, this is why I was telling y'all way ahead of time before everybody started getting depressed. I was telling y'all like a year or two ago that this was going to happen, and to get your frequencies up, and to stop eating certain things, and to stop drinking certain things, and to get on this elixirs and stuff because what's happening is the earth's frequency is changing, and if you're not evolving with it, then your frequency is getting lower. um it's kind of like being yeah, it's that's why I sell my elixirs because they raise your frequency, and they're in the links below on my Etsy store, but also your diet, also the way you think, also the people you hang around. You got 5G, exactly. 5G happening. You got electromagnetic um, spectrum going on. You got the magnetosphere disrupted. You have neutrinos coming into the earth. You have UVB radiation bombarding you. And combine all of that, it's going to really mess you up. So that's why you got to keep your frequency high. Mhm. The Bird Box movie was an extreme version of what's happening. Okay. If you saw Bird Box and you saw how all those people were seeing things and just going crazy and then killing themselves or whatever, or it's because the frequency that you're on is going to cause you to feel and see lower energies. And if you're not on a higher frequency, if you're not vibrating high enough, you will be affected. Thank you, Tanil. Sprinkle, sprinkle. Hmm. Right. So to get on the level, if you go back to the ancient cultures and what they studied the most, what they focused on the most is very important. Why? Because they wouldn't have left it in stone if it weren't. Okay. A lot of the stuff that y'all are asking about is not going to really be beneficial to y'all. Go study what the ancients studied and what they really focused on, and that is why they left it for you. Okay. None of this new age stuff. They left you the real stuff that you need to be focused on. Hmm. All right. Okay. It's your job to seek. You know, it's your job to seek. Mhm. Are crystals new age? No, they're not new age, but they are not um, the focus. They are tools only. They're not. They're just not the focus. They're just the tools. Um, Go back to ancient times. A lot of people's jewelry had gemstones and crystals in them. They wore them on them in jewelry. Okay. Releasing limited beliefs. Open your mind up to new beliefs and don't think that one is correct and one is wrong. Think open minded. They all have the answer, a piece of the answer to whatever you may be seeking. Don't close your mind to everything, open it to everything. If you open your mind to everything, you'll see truth in everything. When you have truth in everything, you can see how everything can benefit you. There is no right or wrong. There is truth in everything. But if you only believe the literal truth in one thing, you miss the entire point. By seeing truth in everything, you see the parallels between each belief, and you see the story over and over and over again, and you see the similarities, and you start to decode, because if in this story, if this means that, then that means this. It's just like a math equation. If a square equals a circle plus a triangle, then what is a square plus two squares in a triangle? It's a math equation. It's all it is. It's a big giant math equation. If in this religion this means that, and in another religion the same thing means this, then this means that, and then you can start decoding. So you got to make sure you don't close your mind to anything, because half the formula and half the information that you have are in the beliefs that you are limiting yourself from, or not learning about. Hmm. Get one step wrong and the whole equation is wrong. Well, when you go to solve an equation, you have solved all the mini equations inside of the equation. In the parentheses, you've solved all the little pieces. You've gathered all of your little pieces to get the big piece, right? Um, that's why you got to keep learning. And there's no limits. There's no limits on knowledge. Everything has truth in it. Learn it all, no matter what it is. Right? There's nothing you shouldn't learn. Learn everything. Learn all you can. Learn most of what you are attracted to, and keep going. Okay. Spell casting. Spell casting, all it is a physical form of exactly what you do when you manifest or pray. It's the same thing. You're taking ingredients that hold vibrations and putting them together to create a frequency. Whatever you're focusing on for that spell work is the frequency that you're trying to match. That's basically it. All you're doing is using physical items to tell your mind, to tell your mental what to do. Okay. It's a set of instructions to your subconscious mind into the frequency that you're trying to get. Right. Hmm. And now look at all your habits. How many got you stuck in the here and now, right? Um, how you stay motivated? Sometimes it's hard for me to stay motivated. It's your level of passion, I think. I think your level of passion will keep you motivated. If this is what you truly seek and you're truly into this and that is your true frequency, there is no way to stay motivated. That's how you always are. So maybe the frequency that that you want to be on, you're not on yet. Thank you, Sharice. When and why did you start your spiritual journey? I think I was born always being like, curious about the unknown. And I started seeking from a very young age. Whatever was given to me religious wise was not it. I kept looking, you know, I was just a curious person, and I didn't take anything at face value, and I continued to, seek information. But what is depression code for? Low frequency. Depress, push down, low frequency. Raise that frequency. If you have a number line and you have 0 in the middle, and you have 1 and then -1. Let's say you were at 1, right? What would 0 be? If this side was positive and this side was negative, what would 0 be? A portal or a womb to the next reality, right? A hole. Depression is being pushed into a hole that you don't want to be in, from a positive place to a negative place. It is the dissension. It is a lower frequency. You're being pushed into a lower frequency. Get your frequency up. Why do you think so many people have tryptophobia? Thank you, Nakush. Dreamed you was different cities hiding to get don't get shot, sir, ma'am. I don't know. I'm sorry you dreamt that. Perhaps you need to raise your frequency so you can fly in your dream, right? It's trying to teach you how to lucid dream. It's forcing you into fear of lucid dreaming and to change your own reality in your dream so you know how to do it in the waking life. Also, like so many people have tryptophobia because the fear of holes, you know, the fear of depression, the fear of going backwards, the fear of lower vibrations, you know. That's why so many people have that fear. It's like a trigger when they see a bunch of little holes and tiny holes, multiverses going backwards. Um, I know it's weird, but like I'll show you an example. It sometimes makes people's skin crawl. So if y'all have tryptophobia, ew, don't look. If that bothers you, that makes your skin crawl, and you don't know why. The 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 tiny holes represent just that dissension. Okay. See, I told you it's mental. So raise your frequency. That's it. Oh, it doesn't bother me though. That's good if it doesn't bother you. You probably don't fear descending because you're already on high frequency. Looks like a creature infected, right? I was just saying the fear of holes, the fear of zeros, the fear of lower dimensions is what people fear holes and tiny holes. And sometimes it triggers you like through tryptophobia. Tryptophobia is like you hate seeing tiny holes. It makes you like it makes you like get the heebie-jeebies, if that's what you want to call it. Like if you can't stand looking at this for a long period of time, or like a bunch of holes in something, like let me see, like this. If this gives you the heebie-jeebies, you have tryptophobia. He said, "I hate it." Yeah. The more you look at it, though, the less you are affected by it. But the whole point is there is a psychological subconscious trigger to those type of things, and you have to think about why. Mhm. Has to do with lower frequency. So get your frequency up. You won't be depressed. You know, raise that frequency. All right, y'all. I must go. I have to go, and I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all, everybody who donated. Thank y'all for everybody who hit the like button. Hit the like button on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. If y'all are new and just stumbled upon my videos, please subscribe so y'all can come back. And also, If y'all want my book, How to Turn a Curse into a Blessing, it is below in the description, and you can find it on Amazon by Ashira Star Goddess. Um, and enjoy.